Hey guys, this is Gamer Cat. Hopefully everyone's having a decent Christmas over here. My internet on Christmas Eve here has been absolute booty butts, so unfortunately I've not been able to do the stream that I wanted to do because it keeps cutting out every like 10 seconds basically. So instead we'll pre-record this and then hopefully be able to upload it on Christmas early in. So yeah, seems alright. I'm gonna play Dicey Dungeons because my god, I've been playing so much of this game recently and it's been a ton of fun. However, I'm not going to go through a new scenario at the moment because I kind of want to just introduce the game a little bit. This game is super weird for those who have not ever seen it. It's kind of obscure to go through like without having any sort of explanation. So rather than try a new scenario that I have not gone into yet, I've played through everybody's first three, and now I think it goes into, elimination round and then parallel thing. So it basically goes into a harder mode for the next one for everyone, going by their standard rules. So we'll just play the default character on the standard rules here. You do get the tutorial the first time you play through. We are not going to have that tutorial because I have already played through. Same thing with it, we also don't get anything too special here. Who somehow is still trying, yeah. There is like story stuff that you go through when you start up with that, so we're not gonna get to see any of that, but it is fine. So, what is Dicey Dungeons? It is slightly randomized, not entirely, but like different enemies can appear in these bits here, so like slightly randomized dungeon crawler, more or less, with your dice rolls judging what you can actually do in a turn. So we've got a very basic equipment setup here. We can have 6 squares filled in, some things take up 2 squares like the sword over here, and effectively this just means whatever number you put into this, you can put any number of dice in, any number on the dice to put in. Whatever you put in, that's how much damage you do. And that is the long and short of it for what the warrior can do at the very start here. So you want to kill all the enemies if you can. You'll get a full health refill on level up. So you definitely want to deal with that as much as possible. And you also get to get all the chests and stuff like that too. So you want to just get all of your levels before you fight the boss. So that's the main thing. So this is what the enemy can do. It's a slightly different thing to what we do over here. So the enemy needs to roll evens. They roll 3 different dice. We only get 2 at the beginning, but we get more as we level up. They roll 3 different ones and they add poison as we go. Poison is pretty much, I think it was described as basically the same as Slay the Spire, but because it's a one-on-one battle thing, it's a little bit more effective. So we have a sword here, we have a latent ability, which for the warrior is combat roll, so we get to re-roll a dice 3 times. And his fury, the limit break, if you take 8 damage in this case, you can use this to do 2 actions in a turn. So we don't need to use a combat roll because we've got the 6 here. Once you've used a thing, unless it has, like this, it has multiple uses in a turn, so you can see we can use that several times. It's not going to do anything here, but just to sort of demonstrate, we get a different dice roll out. If your skill does not have use X times or reusable, then you can only do it once. So once you're done before your stuff, you do it end turn. They got 2 evens, so we're going to have 4 poison on this here, which is kind of annoying. You can see the status condition stuff down the bottom. Poison essentially just makes us lose health equal to the poison ticks. It goes through shields too. Shield, basically you can make armor as well with these things if you've got the right skills, which we do not. So yeah, it pierces that too. So the poison can stack up pretty bad, and you lose like 1 tick of poison every turn, but you take the amount of damage to the poison that you have. So it's like, some enemies can stack up 6, 7, 8 poison in 1 turn and just be like, what do? And, it's kind of scary. But that's okay, because we have a shovel now, so now we have 2 attacks to deal with stuff. On this one, we do earth element damage. I haven't come across anything that's weak to, I'm assuming earth is the thing here. Haven't come across anything that's weak to this, or resistant to it even yet, but it could be important that you do that type of damage. And if you put a 6 into this, you actually get a weaken status too, which debilitates one of the opponent's skills. So that's pretty useful. But more importantly, we now have 2 attacks that we can do. We can use both of the dice this turn. So, just to show what weaken does here, temporary weakens random equipment. Equipment becomes less powerful. So this guy has shield that you can't put more than a 3 into this thing, but you get armor. Basically, yeah, same sort of thing as Hearthstone, I think, actually, with the armor mechanic here. It damage goes onto this first, and then it goes to your health. And he's got a big old broadsword, because you look at that giant ass sword that frog has there. That does a lot of damage if he rolls a high number. But we can kill him on the first turn because he only has 9 HP at that level. So when you level up, I mean, you always get 1 gold per fight. You get experience equal to the level of the opponent. It's a very Paper Mario-esque thing that way, where it's just small numbers going through the stuff. You get a health increase, you get your full health recovery, and you get a perk depending on what the level is. So now we have 3 die that we can run with, which is pretty good. So here, if you want to just make a beeline to the exit, you can. You can deal with just these 2 and that's it. Or you can take on the wizard, which is a fairly strong enemy, but you can take on the wizard and get yourself a chest with another box. That's exactly what we're going to do. So the wizard only rolls 1 dice, and he has 6 skills based on whatever he actually rolls into. Ranging from everything from deal like a lot of ice damage and freezing dice. Freezing makes your highest numbers 1s, so that can be kind of annoying. Burning makes your dice go on fire, and if you use that dice, it costs 2 HP to use it. Poison we've seen, dodge next attack is obvious, +1 dice is obvious. Shock is the other one here, which does, it stops your skills from being used unless you put a dice onto it first. So you have to burn the dice to actually use your stuff, which is kind of annoying. Alright, well we got 2 6s, so it's kind of whatever here. We just have to kill him in as few turns as possible, try and stop him from doing a lot here. But he's gonna get the shock off, so both of my things will take, yeah, we'll take dice now. So we kind of can't do as much damage this turn because I don't have enough dice to roll with. I could use the limit break, and I think I will here, so we'll get 2 actions off here. So your element does stack as well. We'll lessen 2 of his skills here. Doesn't really work as well when your opponent has multiple like things to use. It's a little bit of a shame, but it's okay. Because now we can just, yeah, burn the shot and just kill him off with that. So that's pretty good. Now we can get ourselves a box. Box says bump. So this doesn't actually consume your dice. Most of the things you've seen, oh, the 2 things we've seen so far consume the dice up. Bump is a thing that actually just gives you the dice back, but it gives you it back with an extra value on it. So if I roll a 5 here, I can use the bump, return myself a 6, and then I can actually use that as the thing as well. Just a simple skill, like you don't always have space for it, but if you do, it's super helpful. So now we're blinded, which means this dice, we can never see the value of it, which is a little bit annoying, as you can imagine, but we can just bypass seeing it this turn. You can guess what the dice number is if you have skills that specifically take particular numbers, right? So if you have something that needs an odd number, then you can try and put the dice on it, and if it doesn't trigger, then you know that your number is an even number. So you can have context clues within your equipment, but for the most part, when your dice are blinded, you don't get to see stuff here. So now we get 2 different options as to stuff we can use. We could take the single slot boomerang, which does twice as much damage as your dice roll to the enemy, but you take damage yourself as well. I've never liked the idea of this, so I'm not going to take that. And the spike shield, which takes up 2 slots, but is very, very powerful. If you can't put a 6 in it, but if you put even number into it, you do damage to the opponent, so a 2 or a 4, that does damage, 2 damage, 4 damage. But if you put odd numbers in, you can put shields up, and with a max of 5, getting basically 5 extra health is pretty insane. So we're going to swap that out at the moment. I'm not going to keep this set up the whole way through. There's 5 floors in the boss every time you do these things. So I'm not going to keep that set up the whole way, but for now, that is what we need. So you can go into shops here. As you said, you get 1 gold every time you win a fight, so you can buy stuff with that. None of these are particularly good. Midnight Charm is not too bad if you Countdown stuff is pretty interesting to go over because we haven't seen one of those yet. So the countdown stuff, you put your dice into it and it just ticks down with however much the value of the dice was. And these carry over between turns. So if you put 8 points into this on one turn, your next turn will have 2 on this. So it's a way of consolidating dice that you don't actually get to use on a particular turn. It is pretty good considering our stuff is rolling hot on 6s, right? But it's not good enough, I don't think, for me to actually run with it here. So for this one, I want to reroll. It doesn't really matter much, does it? Don't exactly get a lot out of it, but that's okay. So which way round do we do that? I think the marshmallow freezes and burns based on odd-even counts. He can do a lot of damage very quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and put shields up here. And just run that. You can use your limit break on the shield gather too. Yeah, this is a lot of damage output here, and a freeze plus a burn. Pretty annoying, to be honest, but... So yeah, R6 became a 1 there. You can't actually burn and freeze the same dice. If you burn a dice, then it doesn't get frozen. So keep that in mind if you're doing mass status conditions. We want to reroll that. And again, get a 5. Okay. So what I could do... there's a bit of sequencing to go with here. I think I'm definitely putting that into there. If I'm going to use the limit break, I need to use that before I click this dice, so I don't take the 2 health. The burn damage actually goes into your limit break as well. So I think I will activate that. And you can see a little status conditioning down there. Next equipment will be used twice. So now I take the 2 damage, that actually goes to the limit break, just a little bit of sequencing. And we'll weaken both of his equipment. With him only having 2 equipment in the first place, weakening both of them, it doesn't actually show it there. But it basically cuts his status condition stuff out. So now he only does the damage, which just gets completely blocked by the shields. Shields do not carry over between fights. So you do, you don't want to stack up like 50 shields and then, not use them. So just keep that in mind here as well. You can recover some health, so actually get back to full health as well, which is pretty good. Don't really want to buy anything from that store, so we'll just move on. And here, this is an upgrade station, which is pretty good. These are both health. I actually haven't fought this guy very much, so it'll be interesting to see that. This one is pretty neat though. See, every enemy has got their own sort of unique attack styles, which is pretty fun. Sneezy over here has a bunch of countdown stuff, so this is your introduction to that. But if he rolls 2 of the same dice, he can put them in here and cut all of his equipment's countdowns down. English, yeah. That works, right? Cut all of his countdowns by what double he gets. So if he gets a double 6, then he just uses all of these in one turn. It's pretty funny. Except when you're on the receiving end of it, then it's not so fun. So get a combat roll. Didn't really get a whole lot out of that, but that's fine. We'll get a free shield, and, 9 damage is pretty reasonable. So he is going to be able to count one of these down. So that's 3 damage, and then this one, it's another 3 damage, he'll get that back next turn. But he has to just fully count down again with that, so... Alright, so for the 5, definitely want to reroll that one. Hey, that's good. So now we get the ideal situation for me, which is 12 damage. I guess if I kept the 4, I could have actually killed him. Maybe. Yeah, no, I could have killed him. It's fine. He didn't actually get to do anything with it here. But now, as I said, with the countdown stuff, you see this next turn, he only needs 1 point to count that one in. Not that there's going to be a next turn, it's just like... As a point of proof of concept, I guess. Enemies that have like big countdown skill things will inevitably do some damage with them as they go. Detonator, not remotely useful for our setup here, and it does damage for every poison that you put on the enemy. We have nothing actually that can do poison whatsoever, so that is completely useless right now. But it's fine. So the vacuum is kind of annoying because he has blood suck. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. You can suck up stuff that way. But yeah, this is pretty dumb to deal with. And his Dust Cloud attack, if he puts a 6 in here, which he rolls 3 dice, so decent odds. If he puts a 6 in here, then he's gonna blind 2 of my 3 dice, which is pretty garbage, but you know. Deal with it as you can. I'm just gonna go damage here. So I put the 4 into there, that does 4 damage instead of putting shields on. Weaken the gear and do 6 with that. So next turn I could kill him, theoretically. Alright, although he is gonna heal with this, so yeah, up to 17. I can kill him if I do a double action. Which I guess I probably should. To go 6, yeah, because I can't kill him in one turn of a way. I'm gonna double action. Might as well. The limit break charges up with like 8 damage taken or something, so it's not too bad. And now we get 4 dice to deal with, which is pretty good. So here we have an upgrade spot. We can upgrade one of our pieces of gear. So this one, if we upgrade it, it will do +1. There's only one tier of upgrade, so it's either regular or upgraded. That's it. So we can do 1 extra damage with the dice rolls. So put a 6 in, you get a 7, etc. This one changes, so instead of just being on a 6 you inflict the weaken, it's if you put any even number in here, so 2, 4, or 6. So pretty good for status conditions. The Spite Shield upgrades to allow you to put a 6 in here as well, so you can do more damage. Switching over to the Backpat stuff, the bump gets to be used twice in a turn, so you can either use that on the same dice, or you can use it on 2 different ones and get extra value out of it. And the Detonator just gets to be used on any number as opposed to just an even number. None of them... The Spite Shield is really good, that's probably the one I'm going to go for, but I'd rather see what I can buy from here first, just in case one of those can be upgraded better. So we'll see how that works out. Alright, what does this thing even do? I don't remember. Poison Cloud, max of 3, inflicts whatever the dice roll is in poison, and if you put 24 numbers in out of 4 dice, it's going to be like 3 turns on average, I guess. Doubles whatever poison's on me. It's a lot of poison damage. Poison goes through shields too, so the 5 here isn't very good for the Spite Shield. So I want to put even numbers in there if I can. Ideally the 4, right? Okay, well, I guess a 2 is what I'm going to have to go with. Since he does entirely poison damage, there's not really any reason to do any shield buffing here. So he does get 3 poison on us, cut the rest of that in, doesn't do much. That is a terrible set of dice. Oh boy. That makes it a little bit better. Okay, 4 is what I want there. And then I guess the rest of it just has to go to basic damage. So he's gonna get 1 extra poison tick on us. Ooh, that blight is really close though. Yeah, poison can stack up really quickly if you're not careful. But what have we got? 3, 6, 9. Yeah, we've got enough to kill him. So there, and exact, without having to do the reroll. No point wasting time when I don't have to, right? So okay, we've got health on the field here to get back to full. So here, the broadsword is pretty good. First aid kit is very expensive as an thing, but the broadsword would just be a straight +2 compared to the sword that we have on at the moment. So that seems pretty good. Should probably go with that. I could buy other stuff, I have the money for it, but I don't think we really need to. So if you upgrade the broadsword, it does +3 instead of +2, but the Spite Shield is the way that I'm going to go here. The cool thing about games like this is that there's so many different possibilities, right? Everybody's got their own ideas as to what builds are good, and they're not usually wrong. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with things like this. So, Direwolf, Rhino Beetle, Keymaster. Keymaster can be kind of annoying if you let him have enough turns. Direwolf does more poison stuff, and the Rhino Beetle is pretty powerful because he's got a Battle Axe, which does like double damage. Okay. So the real question is, do I want the armor? I think I do. So this guy has 6 different Keyblades. Keyblades do 3 set damage and return the dice that's put into them. And the fact is he only rolls one dice, so he can unlock one of his things per turn so long as he gets the stuff out. So he can do a lot of damage when it gets down to it, but actually, I think I'm just going to do the damage here. Because then I don't have to roll quite so big next turn. Yeah, I'm going to take 3 damage here. That's actually going to go into this, though. So it's probably not a bad thing. So, what have we got? We got 7, if I put that there. 11, I need a 3. That'll do. Because the 4 in here is even numbers, so we do damage. And then into there. So it just lessens the amount of time that I have to get wrecked by damage, I guess. If you see a green shop here, this is a trading post. We'll come back to that when I have this chest unlocked. So, Rhino Beetle over here, Rhino Lino, has Battle Axe that does double the damage of the dice roll, limited to 4, but still. And then on countdown to 12, he does 5 damage and locks one of your dice. As you can imagine, the locked dice can't be used at all. So, very dangerous. Not exactly what we want here. Let's try and re-roll a 6, I guess. Nope, that's fine. So I'll weaken one of his gear. If I weakens the Battle Axe, it cuts the roll down that he can use for it, so that's pretty good. Shield up, do 7. Yeah, so now he can only, well, I mean, he could only put that in anyway, but just as luck would have it. But basically, cutting the enemy's power, or possible power, is always going to be helpful. If you can do it without having too many rolls just like not work. I don't know. Double 6 is really good here. I don't kill him outright, but I do a ton of damage here. So I'll just build the shields up. Shield 8 is so strong here. Because yeah, he's actually going to cut all of that straight up. And now his headbutt does no damage. It locks one of my dice. But that's okay, because we got basically an idea of all otherwise. Do I kill him with this? I've got 8 and 6. Yes, I have exact lethal actually, because I upgraded the spike shield. Good. That's what I like to see. Alright. Roll your bones to make my bread. Oh no, he is a giant apparently. Alright, seems cool. So we can get a health back, because next time when we win against this thing, it's a level up, so we don't have to worry about that. We get a whip. This does fire damage for some reason. I've not quite worked out why that is, but if you get a 6, it inflicts burn, which is pretty good. It still takes up 2 slots though, so I don't know. We could trade it for Toxic Ooze, which is the same damage, but if you get a 6 instead of burning one of their dice, it puts 2 poison on them instead. Over time, this actually does a little bit more. But some enemies are good against poison, and some enemies are bad against fire. So you actually can do double damage to ice-based enemies with this thing. So I think I'm gonna keep it as is. We'll see. Direwolf is actually an example of an enemy that's good against poison, because Direwolf does poison stuff. So it makes sense that he's good against it. So what does the Direwolf do? If he gets a double out of his 4 dice, if he gets 2 of the same, he can curse you. And on a max of 3, so he needs low rolls for his stuff, he can do damage and add a poison with his sting here. So, kind of powerful. Not the strongest enemy out there, but definitely not something you want to underestimate. Okay, well, we can... Poison does go through shields, so I may just want to focus on killing here, because I am getting a full heal at the end of this fight. 36 health should be enough to take him on. He is going to curse me though. Oh no, he's not, because that got weakened. Nice. So if you get cursed, you've got a 50% chance that your dice, whatever you put your dice into, gets exploded and just fails. So that can be quite annoying. Let's reroll that one. Alright, even damage. Do that. I don't need to use my limit break right now. So there's an argument to use your limit break whenever you get it, but sometimes you just don't need to use it. Yeah, here's gonna be the curse. sometimes you just don't need it in the fight that you're dealing with. So yeah, all equipment has a 50% chance to fail. Disappears once triggered. So that one did damage. I need this one to not trigger it, right? Oh, that's kind of bad. Yeah, so the 50% kind of worked out in the wrong order there, unfortunately. That is a really weird roll. But he gets his curse and his maximum output. That's like best case scenario for the direwolf. We do get poisoned a decent bit, but it's okay. So there's the curse gone, which means we could just do that now. Good. Hello. One day I'll beat you. Hey, another message? Going to remember the gardener is our colleague and he's not allowed to eat. Oh! I mean, the gardener is a rabbit, so makes sense. Alright, so now we're level 5, and we get a choice of Shield Bash or Upgrade. The Shield Bash is good if you've got a ton of shield building going. Like if you Fury Spike Shield, I guess, and get 10 armor or whatever, then it can be good. But it needs doubles, which is annoying. So I'm going to take the upgrade here. This just seems better of all. As you see, this one's grayed out because we can't upgrade it. So let's have a look in the backpack and see. We get 2 burn if we use the whip. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Because then I'll be putting that on instead of the shovel. So now we burn 2 of the enemy dice instead of weakening their equipment. Seems pretty strong. Again, with this being the first scenario, the enemies are not exactly... Oh, see, here's the snowman, which is going to be good. And I think this guy's weak to fire as well. So, pretty good turnout here. So I think the order for this one, if you kill all 4 enemies, you get the final level up. So I think the order here is these 2 to get access to the health, and then this one because you might be able to buy health here, and then finally here and get the upgrade. So we're going to go with the snowman first. And the snowman is very, he can suggest a lot of things, I guess. I don't know. He's kinda awkward. Speaking of awkward, not exactly the greatest of openings here. The snowman has 4 odd numbers that he needs for his stuff, but he does damage and freezes. Potentially does a lot of damage and debilitates a lot of your die, so it's a little bit annoying. I think I'm gonna go shield, burn, so it does 8 damage because it's a fire-based attack, and then 4 there. I'm gonna save the Fury in case I can... you didn't get anything going apart from just that one, so only one of my dice gets frozen. It is kind of one I'd want, but whatever. That's good. Okay, so I can put 5 shield, that does 12. I could actually kill him if I use a Fury. I almost want to save this for the next fight though, because I think the next one is more dangerous, just knowing what the enemies do. So I think I'm just gonna burn the two dice there, and just take this a little bit slower. I have a habit of maybe saving my last word too much, but at the same time, I think it's better here. So it's going to freeze 3 of my dice this time, so basically anything that's not a 1 is getting shattered, so that's kind of annoying. Still get the 6 back though, so we do win, because this does double the damage, which is good. So that gives us access to a chest which has Blight. Yeah, we've seen what that does already, not super good. It's nice that the enemies have some of your skills as well, though. So, the Paper Knight, the reason why I saved it, that's a really good start too. The reason why I saved my Limit Break is for this guy. If he gets an even, he does 9 damage to you. It does lower when he does it consecutively, but like, you know, starts off at 9, then goes 7, 5, 3, blah blah blah. Hugely powerful attack. So we want to immediately do as much to him as possible. But yeah, he takes double damage from fire because he's made of paper, so makes sense, right? Ideally, I would get a 5 here. Nope. Do I take any armor or do I just do damage? Let's see, 16. I think I take the armor here. It's so little, but at the same time, yeah, he's basically killed himself. Maybe I should have taken the damage then. I didn't actually realize he would do double damage on his on the burn too. Also, yeah, you can see he's a bit of a bot when it comes to locking your dice down too. If he gets 2 even numbers, he can lock your dice away. So, yeah, burn actually does double damage to him as well. I didn't really think about that. So, oops, that's my bad. Alright, so we'll take the health at the moment, and because I'm probably going to be able to buy health from the shop. And now we get the Kraken. Kraken is an interesting foe. He has Curse if he gets a 4, he's got 5 dice rolls, so pretty good chance of that. Countdown 5 blinds 2 dice, which is basically always going to happen. And then his actual damage attack is 2 uses per turn. If he puts evens into this, it ramps up, more or less. So he doesn't tend to do too much damage unless you're a bit slow on actually killing him. So basically, don't be slow and you'll be fine. Shield early on actually seems decent. I want to actually do damage with his stuff. Yeah, so he's got the 4, that's going to get the curse, which is pretty bad. He does get his damage out, and he gets the blind. Pretty much best case scenario for him right there. So I want to bait the curse out. Didn't get it, but I did get 5 armor, so that's pretty good. Let's re-roll this one first, see if I can get a guaranteed higher number. Yeah, that'll do. So there's the curse gone, because I wanted to burn on the dice here. The burn will do more damage overall, if he's going to use those. Yeah. Not actually sure why he used both of them. Did he need to use both? Yeah, so he's getting that damage ramp up pretty heavily here. Which is scary, to say the least. So again, reroll, that's a pretty good number to get. Alright, that's fine. We'll just take the guarantee here. So now his attack is doing 5 and 6, which is quite good, damage-wise. But that's only if he actually uses it, which he's not going to. Don't know why he burned himself with that. Didn't exactly need to, but whatever. Okay, we can just win with that. So you wanna make sure that the attacks you actually want to go through are like the ones you use last, because the curse is likely to trigger early, right? So make sure that you don't lose too much. And I could have upgraded if I needed to. I have enough to buy this and upgrade. We got a deal on pool toys. Oh man. Yeah. So it's kind of neat. Now we get final fight. This will get us a final level for the boss here. So let's see what we can do. Combat roll. Okay, double 6 is good. So we're just gonna be doing straight damage here. So I guess I should probably show what she does beforehand. She has Sadverse. I think Sonic Wave is the same like as an attack you can use. It's a max of 4. It does earth damage and weakens the enemy guaranteed, +1 weaken. And then on a countdown to 20, she does 12. So with her 4 die, she tends to get a couple of weakens on you to stop your gear from being so strong. Which is kind of annoying on low gear builds like this one. And then yeah, if she actually gets this attack off, it really hurts. So yeah, now this only allows a 3 as the maximum for it, so I'm gonna have to re-roll for that. Which is good. Do I want the armor or do I want to... I just want to damage her. I could have re-rolled for the 6. I probably... No... Yeah, I probably should have re-rolled for the 6. Doesn't matter. Yeah, so here's the damage output. That really hurts. 12 damage. Eesh. That's okay though, because we should win with this, right? And we get our limit break for the next fight, which is really good. So, final level at max. We get ourselves an extra dice, which is pretty good. So now it's just a case of what do we actually want to finish off with. And honestly, it's kind of looking like, based on the gear that we've had, we really haven't had any good single gears for this stuff. Yeah, because this just adds extra poison, which is good. But it's not better than the stuff that we have. So I think it's just upgrade the broadsword. Do just 1 extra damage. I could buy an upgrade to something as well, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing. I guess the... So I should maybe upgrade the Toxicus just in case one particular boss shows up. Because there's one that's good against fire. And at that point, the whip might not be the best to use. Because it's, you know, they're good against fire damage. So I should upgrade one of these. I think I'm going to upgrade the Toxicus because that would do more damage. So, just in case that's the one that shows up. Oh, I actually haven't fought this character. Okay. Interesting. So we're going to get to see a new one live. Alright, I do not know what she does. So I'm going to just go with the whip here, I think. So... what is our boss of the day gonna do? Immune to freeze. Okay, well I don't have freeze and stuff, so... 12 years old, I'm here to make sure you lose. Well, alright then. So, why is she immune to freeze then? What does she actually do? So, campfire, 1 fire damage, burn a dice, adds 1 fire every use, okay. She can repeat her stuff, and on a max of 3, she does... oh, 3 uses per turn too. That could get pretty dangerous. So she can do up to 4 damage 3 times a turn. This is the scary one though, but it's only 1 use per turn. So I think that's still going to be okay. Alright, so we want to reroll for probably a 5 would be nice. No? Okay. In that case then, let's just burn her dice. So she's immune to freeze because she has an even requirement here. And if you freeze her, then you would make her only roll once, and that would break the fight. So that's why she's got that immunity. Do 7 with that, and I think I will take the armor here. It's not a 5, but shield 3 is still pretty reasonable. So yeah, we burned a lot of her stuff, which is good. So she's gonna get this, which does 1 burn, and a couple of shots there, and a count to give her double attack at one point. Okay, not the worst. Is a 5 good enough? Yeah, I think a 5 is good enough here. So we'll take our 5 there, we'll burn 2, and I can reroll one of the 4s. Just in case I get a 6. Shouldn't take too many turns to take her out though, based on the way this is going. Because the burn is definitely doing quite a lot of work here as well. But the problem is, she isn't going to take very long to take us out either, and now she's going to get double burn here. Ow! So that hit quite hard, but that limit break gives us lethal. Because we can do this, and take the damage, and do that. And then I just need to reroll like an even. There we go. Because burning 4 means that she was basically out of dice anyway. What would you do with the heart attack? It's a good question. Yeah, let's just get to spin the wheel of fortune. And oh man, it didn't land on anything good. At least not just yet. So there we go. And that is Dicey Dungeons in a nutshell. So, hopefully I can get this out at some point tomorrow. Or today as it would be for you people. Hopefully we'll get it out on Christmas. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed yourselves. And yeah, if you want to pick this up, it is on Steam. It's pretty cost effective too. I got this for less than £10, so it's pretty cheap too. And there's a lot to it. Like, this is just the most basic episode for it. Every character has got their own unique playstyle, and then the different episodes, at least the first 3, have had different stipulations put on that as well. Some of which even more or less completely change the playstyle again. So there's a ton of content in this. If you've been remotely interested by what's been done here, highly recommend playing through this. So yeah, until next time everyone, this has been GamerCal, and take care of yourselves. Have a good Christmas.